Alright, for today's video, we're taking a look at Vampire Tribal. This has been, for the most part, a fringe deck for both its time in Historic and for the short time that we've been able to have this stuff legal in Timeless. But we're going to try some tried and true things that were very powerful back in the day, even though they were not necessarily meta. So, number one, Sorin Imperious Bloodlord is a pretty cool card because if you play a lot of vampires, you can cheat the mana cost of some expensive ones and do some sacrifice things if you have synergy for that. Whereas in the past, I'd be trying to make the -3 work a lot. Today, we're going to be working on both the -3 and the second +1 ability and trying to find some synergies in both. Obviously, number one, the -3, put any vampire from your hand onto the battlefield. Like you've seen before in March of the Machines on this channel, we do have a big one that came out of this set. Galta and Maverin, 12/12 Dinosaur Vampire. On attack, you can basically make tokens in either the tall or the wide variety. And this thing's great. 12/12 with Trample is solid. If you have creatures that can already attack the turn that she comes in, it's even better. Ultimately, just a pretty nice card. In the past, I've ran, a more reanimation style number of hits for this kind of effect, but in doing so, you have to run 2 colors of mana that you don't necessarily want to be running. So in this deck, we're playing just a single copy of Galta and Maverin and hoping that we will be able to just put her in off of one of the 4 Sorins that we have in the deck. Another card that we want to cheat in mana-wise is the Haunt of Hightower. Very good discard synergy, and this thing's very annoying, plus being its own win con. So basically, when our opponent is either losing their creatures or discarding due to the Hightower's effect itself, it gets bigger and they'll have to deal with it before it becomes a lethal threat. The fact that it starts out as a 3/3 means that it only needs one trigger of itself in order to escape a lightning bolt, so that's actually extremely relevant and timeless. So we'll be playing this card today. Hopefully it'll come out and pull its weight. So on the other creature fronts, a lot of the things that we're going with are not going to be things that really cheat on mana, except that we just want to make sure that us using them will be a little bit of a mana help to us. So what I mean by that is that we're going to be playing Nighthawk Scavengers. If you have a Sorin down, obviously you can pay for a Nighthawk Scavenger, but what Sorin's going to allow us to do is play Nighthawk Scavenger and then something else. And I guess if we accelerate Sorin off of a Dark Ritual, we technically might not be able to cast it, so that'll be useful. Who knows? But yeah, Nighthawk Scavenger is a pretty good card. We have 4 Veto Thorn of the Dusk Roses. You'll see in a bit why he specifically is in the deck, but for now, know that he can come in off of Sorin, and that he combos infinitely with our one of Exquisite Blood, which we can find with Demonic Tutor. So for both the Galta Maverin, Haunt of Hightower, plus Exquisite Blood kind of deals, both of their respective combos can be found off of Demonic Tutor, which kind of gives us a little bit more consistency in a deck that otherwise, as you could probably see if you played this deck in Historic, can be a little rickety at times. So yeah, Veto's in this deck, and let's take a look at why. We're running Silver Smoke Ghouls, which have a really kind of like hidden combo here with with both Veto and Sorin. So Sorin has a +1 that allows you to sack a vampire, and when you do, you drain your opponent for 3. And it's typically you drain your opponent. You can also take out a creature and gain 3 life. But once the Silver Smoke Ghoul is on the battlefield, you can sack the Silver Smoke Ghoul to Sorin, maybe even after it attacks, and basically get the requirements for that Silver Smoke Ghoul to come out of the graveyard at the next turn, which is actually really, really a very cool and inevitable game plan. That's actually not the only card we can do this with, because we're also playing Bloodghast, which, obviously we play enough lands to make this work. A full play set of 24, that is. And every time you play a land, Bloodghast comes back. And if your opponent has less than 10 health, they're also hasty. So these are also very good sack targets to Sorin because they happen to be vampires as well. And between the Bloodghast coming back, you casting it from hand, you'll have a lot of targets to sack to Sorin that will come back to the battlefield if you time them right. And then pretty much everything else in the deck is just kind of for consistency. We have a 1 of Liliana of the Veil in case she can come down late in the game and lock it down for us. 4 Thoughtseizes to hit the hand. 3 Fatal Pushes to stop opponent's creature-based plans. And then Dark Rituals for acceleration because we're in Timeless. If we can get something out turn 1, we might as well. This does represent turn 1 Dark Ritual into Sorin into drop Galta. So if that unlikely string of events can happen, that would be pretty cool, and I'd be excited to do it. But with that being said, that's the end of the deck tech. You've seen what the deck does. Now it's time to see what the deck will do. Make sure to like the video and comment on it. Let me know if you tried this and what you liked about it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Helps me out a bunch. Videos come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I keep working to make that happen. So that being said, here comes round 1. Let's get in there and see what Vampires has in store for us. Alright, we're in round 1. We have the Sorin that we want, and we have, I guess, a Silver Smoke Ghoul that we can also play. Fatal Push plus Thoughtseize and a Liliana the Veil. This is good if we draw another card. It is, well, yeah, we're going to draw another card. We need it to be a land, though. I'll give it a try. What's the worst that could happen? This Thoughtseize is a little worse on the draw, that is. But we'll try to make it work here. Opponent is on possibly green-white. Let's see what we get to see. This actually, funnily enough, is a mirror match of the deck that I just finished playing, which was my Timeless Angels build. I think I've played the Timeless version of that deck on the channel before, but if I haven't, I'll need to do so in the future. Looks like that's not what we're playing against after all. This will be Domain Zoo, or just like Midrange Domain, which we see. We have not seen the ley line, the 5-color ley line just yet. We do draw that land that we were looking for. Let's check their hand. See if we can prevent doing anything crazy from happening. This Oko is really bad. The ley line binding, they will have access to next turn. So that means my Liliana will have to come in probably minus immediately. Looks like that will line up very well against the Wild Nacatl. So my next turn seems pretty good. They're going to have a lot of effective low CMC creatures, so this Fatal Push is actually going to be probably better in my hand. The interaction of Sorin plus Silver Smoke Ghoul is a nice one, but we might not necessarily be able to work with it just yet. I think I need to play Liliana first, then maybe just get a Silver Smoke Ghoul out to look scary and block, and then the Sorin will be able to do something better. So I assume they take a Triome here, getting their Leyline Binding as cheap as possible. Makes sense. So that is Leyline Binding able to be activated here. So I have my turn 2. I can just Fatal Push one of the Wild Nacatls, I suppose. And if I do that, then I'm probably just Sorin minusing to get my Silver Smoke Ghoul in. We'll see what eats the Leyline Binding. See if they decide to play anything else here. They have Tribal Flames for 5. Alright, so we'll be that. Let's go ahead and kill the Nacatl. In retrospect, might have wanted to do that before combat, but it's okay. So now if Leyline Binding comes down, it will basically just be a situation where they are near Hellbent. I could also Liliana Plus. But I'm thinking that Liliana Plus will be better for the next turn. Here's a Phyrexian Tower. Let's go for Sorin here. We'll have priority and we can activate Sorin, putting our Silver Smoke Ghoul back. Cool. This is actually a pretty good card to be putting in. It's not too expensive. And it's going to feel pretty bad to use this Leyline Binding on that, most likely. I'd rather they take Sorin in this situation. Yeah, this is fine. We'll at least have something to attack with. Hopefully they do not find a creature here to block. We'll see what they find. Only one non-land in their hand, so we have the ability to get going and start to do stuff. We'll just pass through. We have no way of gaining enough life to get our Silver Smoke Ghoul back, so I will go ahead and attack. And we'll just go ahead and Liliana here. Liliana is going to plus. We'll discard our Phyrexian Tower. Opponent probably gets rid of that Blood Crypt, I guess. Makes sense. And we'll draw. So they need to find removal for Liliana, whether that be a creature or something. Blood on the Snow, kind of a decent find for us here. We'll go ahead and attack in first, see if they want to flash in anything to block. Don't think this deck does anything about that, so we should be okay to attack in. Perfect. And we'll just continue trying to hit that hand. I think that probably the Dark Ritual is bad, but Blood on the Snow needs Dark Ritual to function. Maybe I do get rid of Dark Ritual and just hope that this game goes long enough that I can naturally cast this Blood on the Snow. We're holding up mana in order to sack the Silver Smoke Ghoul if we need to. Not seeing that they have any immediate plays here, which means that their draw probably was less than optimal. Looks like they might just pass through here. Liliana coming through. This is now Bloodghast, which has haste. I unfortunately have no land to get it in with. You can Liliana discard your Bloodghast, play a land to get it back for 0 mana. Unfortunately, not what's going to happen here. So again, see if they want to play a card. We should be able to get them just about Hellbent here. We'll get ourselves just about Hellbent in the process, but now they're at 2, so any Sorin activation is a possibility. I think at this point we get rid of Blood on the Snow. They put us to 4 actually, so we're not out of this yet. They put me to 1 in fact. Okay, well that is gonna happen. We'll discard Blood on the Snow here and they will be in top deck mode, and so will we. If they can find it, all the better for them. It is Orcish Bowmasters exactly. Wow, that's unfortunate. Perfect draw from them. Trying to think if I have any instant speed life gain abilities. I do not, unfortunately. Silver Smoke Ghoul can draw me something. This doesn't do much for me though, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and do it, just because why not? Well, we'll wait for them to target me in the face first. That will be the ultimate point of no return. So we'll go ahead and Silver Smoke Ghoul, auto-paying, sacking the Bloodghast. Let's see what we get. It is our Veto. So close. Almost had it. Well, that's going to be round 1 here. We came extremely, extremely close here. The Liliana value was good. The Sorin value, I mean, we wouldn't have been in this game without Sorin. So not the way that we wanted to stay in games, but the composition of the deck definitely kept us in one where we did not draw the lands for. So not terrible, not great. Let's move into round 2 and try again. Alright, here we go. Round 2. We have a Sorin here, and we have Silver Smoke Ghouls. The difference between this hand and the last one is that we actually can cast these Silver Smoke Ghouls with the cards in the hand. I'll keep it. Feels kind of like a repeat, but not kind of like a repeat at the same time. We have a Thoughtseize to check first, and hello. What are we doing here? So this is going to be Necropotence plus... I don't even know. I think we just take Demonic Tutor here. They won't be doing anything till turn 3. The Ashiok hurts a little bit. We'll have to be really careful with how we use our Silver Smoke Ghouls and get them into the graveyard. But could be worse, honestly. Here's a Sorin. Let's go ahead and do that. -1. We are open to Bowmasters here, which looks like it's in hand for them. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they just have full control on. That's got to be like Fatal Push or Bowmasters. I kind of don't expect my board state to stay the same way. Let's see what they decide to take here. Maybe the Ghoul. Okay. Looks like that means that Ashiok comes down next and they kill my Sorin. So now we're kind of in problematic territory. Well, our Silver Smoke Ghoul will be here to block. That's kind of all we can really expect from it. It'll stop the Bowmasters from attacking at the very least. The card draw is not great on this card anymore because of Bowmasters, but that is what it is. There's the Ashiok that we expected. All of my reanimation creatures are looking pretty dead here. Now we just have a lot of lands. Bloodghast is nice. They unfortunately have way too much life for it to function. And there's the Liliana, so we'll probably just lose our Bloodghast here. Ashiok will exile it, and wow, looks like we don't really have much game anymore. That second Sorin gone. We do find third Sorin. Third Sorin's just going to have to plus here. And we might as well get a Phyrexian Tower out. Show our opponent we have nothing. Not sure what we can draw here that turns this game around, honestly. It'd kind of have to be a Vampire, I guess. Oh, here's Ashiok, the kind of new Ashiok. Haven't actually played against this deck in any format before, so this will be exciting at the very least. A lot of non-Vampire, non-board wipe spells go to exile. That could be worse, honestly. And yeah, Ashiok with us Hellbent is going to be a nightmare. So this is just Planeswalker kind of discard control. Looks like they're going to have a real strong lock on us here, though. They're just keeping Sorin in check here. Wow, we actually drew pretty much exactly what we wanted. And I think we'll need to do it to stay alive. We can destroy all creatures or all Planeswalkers. I will die in 2 turns if we do not destroy all creatures, so I think the Planeswalkers have to stay alive for right now. We'll say go. Also, all these should be snow lands, so that we can function with blood on the snow. Just take that as a note for your builds of this deck. I will obviously make that change myself. So there's the Necro. They have more than enough cards in hand to work with here. Liliana chunks me a bit. They drop off a Gary that would have totally murderized me. And the board's coming back here. We get milled again. There goes the 3rd out of 4th Silver Smoke Ghoul. I think that we do not have much in the tank left here. 2 cards exiled. Another 2 Necropotence, okay. Well, another 2 through Necropotence, since Ashiok, I believe, yeah, does combo with Necro. Let's take one of our many basic lands. Necro will take another 2 cards. And then from exile, you can't do anything with the Ashioks just yet. So that's fine. Their creatures are getting big. We need to find something right now. And here's a Nighthawk Scavenger. That is actually a great draw. Let's make it bigger, and hopefully it will be out of range of whatever happens here. This is Dark Ritual into something that murderizes my Scavenger, isn't it? I think that's unfortunately going to be the end of it here. They're going to plus their stuff with Ashiok, and that will be it. We'll go ahead and let it happen here. Okay, looks like we'll die pre-combat with a Gary for 11. Pretty cool mono black here. Really liking the Ashiok plus Necropotence combo. That actually seems extremely strong if you can get it onto the battlefield. Other than this, kind of just a pretty respectful mono black control deck, respective of the things that they'll see in the format. You know, their Ashiok hits my graveyard, which is bad for me. Playing 4-mana Liliana is also pretty cool. You know, mono black Super Friends, what a deck. Grey Merchant of Asphodel, always very cool to see this card in play as well. Alright, round 2, we're kind of on a downward trend here, but to go up, you gotta go down a little bit. So hopefully round 3 will be a bit of a change in the other direction for us. Let's go see if it'll happen. Alright, here we go. This is our round 3. We have our turn 1 Sorin Nighthawk Scavenger plan, and we happen to be on the play. Seems great. Opponent is referencing Dragon Ball. Oh, actually, I was thinking that it was Yu-Gi-Oh!, which made me worried that it was going to be a combo deck. Just got my references wrong, so a little bit less freaked out now. That's good. Anyway, here's Sorin turn 1. We're going to go minus Sorin, putting our Scavenger onto the battlefield. Not the biggest thing that we can create, but it'll do for now. Thoughtseize takes away Fatal Push. Could be worse, honestly. We do get to play this Bloodghast now. And let's go ahead and put a counter on our Scavenger. We'll attack in. Now we are gaining 3 a turn. So there is some potential here. We actually just get a Liliana the Veil now. That's great. We'll spread out some counters here. Putting something on our Bloodghast. An opponent decides that they don't want to see any more of this. The play with Liliana also now being a one-sided discard would have been extremely, extremely strong. Yeah, I mean that's a round 3 to remember right there. All right, very quick, about a minute and a half on the dot here. Let's hop into round 4, and try for another one of those. I think we're definitely on that upswing we were hoping for. Okay, it's round 4. We have acceleration into either Sorin or Liliana, and we are on the play. I like this hand. Let's keep it. See what opponent's on here. They go ahead and pass it without any mulligans. We'll go just execute our initial game plan. We do get to accelerate out 6 mana worth of things on turn 1, which was great. Alright, there goes Nighthawk Scavenger. It'll be a 1 power creature. Liliana can help with that, though. Opponents on black themselves. Ban Hound, lifelink haste. Well, that thing's going to die if it attacks, so Sorin will survive. I could Liliana Edict them, I suppose. This is a weird attack. Okay, that makes sense. So, it actually just has to be Sorin plus. We'll be able to survive the Ban Hound attack. I don't think they can play anything that buffs the Ban Hound that I'm immediately aware of. March toward Perfection, sure. Looks like they might have another one of those coming down, which actually would be a problem for me. At least Nighthawk Scavenger gets bigger. Okay, thank God that thing doesn't have haste at the very least. So Sorin will survive. We'll probably want to kill the Skull Dweller. Silver Smoke Ghoul will be a perfect way to do that, and we'll be able to start looping it. So that's Silver Smoke Ghoul. We'll probably want to attack with it. I mean, you know, regardless about how this works, like whether or not we use the Nighthawk Scavenger attack or the Sorin, we will be bringing back this Silver Smoke Ghoul. We will stack it. And let's kill that Skull Dweller. Move in. That is another 4 damage. And there's my Silver Smoke Ghoul back. So this is 7 damage on the battlefield. We have Sorin to work with as well. Things seem pretty solid. This Liliana coming down next turn is perfect. Wow, the Blight Beetle. What a card to be playing right now. Sorin goes back to 1. We'll deal with the Blight Beetle now. We're not making Scavenger any bigger currently, so I will attack in. We'll see if they want to make a block. Probably thinking they don't. This Liliana will be a sacrificial Liliana, it seems. No, actually we'll be fine, so... Unfortunately, this means that we don't have anything to sack to Sorin. We will be able to make our Scavenger bigger, though. Kind of an awkward situation to be in, but we do have Crushing Inevitability here. We'll put a Lockthwain in, and here's a Liliana. I think I'd like to Liliana plus here. They'll now have to choose between Sorin and Liliana. That means... So if I were to, like, take away their Ban Hound, another Ban Hound would kill me. It's also very good to know that they play Exquisite Blood. So we do need to worry about a combo here. They're just stuck on 2 mana here, so we're just really free to do what we want. Soren's sticking around. Yes, we want to be doing that. Alright, so let's go ahead and put a +1 counter on the Nighthawk Scavenger. We actually don't want to do anything with Liliana, so let's attack with the Scavenger. We'll block with the Silver Smoke Ghoul. Life is good. We may not be able to do the Ghalta and Maven thing. I think our opponent's going to die before then. No, we're going to lose our Ghalta unless we draw. So I will draw. Okay, and then we'll get rid of that snow-covered swamp. The dream is still alive. And I mean, they're basically dead here. We are going to make that trade. Kind of just a commons deck from our opponent, maybe one Exquisite Blood here and there. You know, budget build, sometimes those are things that happen. Let's go ahead and Sorin, plussing this. I'm legitimately not going to do anything other than play the Silver Smoke Ghoul because I want to put in Ghalta and Maven next turn. This is a little bit kind of playing with your food. Maybe not the most respectful thing to do, but I just want to play a 7/7. If they are able to combo me out from this position, that is a play that I am willing to have happen. Alright, here's the -3 on Sorin. Let's put that Ghalta in. Bam, there's a 12/12. We'll attack all in. Big things are happening. By big, I mean we're making 2 creatures, but it is what it is. That is still very powerful. They can't block the Nighthawk Scavenger because that's on the ground. I think this may have just been like a new player playing with a new deck. Hopefully, at the very least, we showed them something interesting that piques their interest in mono black, which they seem to be liking already. That's what we're doing here, just trying to show some new decks off at the end of the day. So with that being said, that is round 4 out of the way. We have a 5th round coming up right now. We'll see you there. Alright, here's the 5th and final round. No acceleration here, but we do have Silver Smoke Ghouls up the entirety of this hand. Nighthawk Scavenger as well, plus a Bloodgust. I mean, I'm in. Kind of just a respectful hand of creatures until we find the Planeswalkers and other things that make this deck do what it wants to do. Bloodgust on turn 2, and then we'll have our turn 3 Takenuma into probably, I don't know, it depends on what cards get played first, if it's going to be Nighthawk Scavenger or Silver Smoke Ghoul. They'll have had a turn to look at my Bloodgust and decide if they want to kill it. There's a chance that they hold up any interaction between Bloodgust. Oh, and they just shock Blood Crypt, so... Okay, not what I thought was going to happen, but maybe we get Thoughtseized. So look at my top. Okay. That was not a DRC into all of this. Let's see what they saw. They saw a Veto, so they know that there's creatures coming. Well, we'll show them Bloodgust. Okay, so this is probably holding up Lightning Bolt. Looks like Bloodgust will die. We don't totally care. It's like 2 damage that we'd lose out on if they decide to kill it. That is Lightning Bolt to the face, though. Okay. There's the DRC that I thought they'd be playing turn 1 with that Mishra's Bauble. That means they probably drew that. Oh, well, maybe they just actually had multiple Mishra's Baubles and they were being careful. Orcish Webmasters. So this is just Black-Red Delver, then. That kind of archetype. Mishra's Bauble looks at my top. They might hold this DRC. Well, actually, this DRC must attack. Here comes Kamano. We do get to draw at the very least. Oh, well, Liliana's a great draw for us, so we'll go ahead and edict their DRC.
Enough with the mysteries.
That saves me a lot of damage in the long run. Here is Bloodgust.
Personal space.
Gonna be tough to avoid the race of mono red here. They might bolt my Liliana. I'm not really expecting her to sit around for much longer. Static Discharge. We get a Snow-Covered Swamp here. We can play a Nighthawk Scavenger first. This thing is big. And that means that comboing with Veto next turn, if it can survive, and I'm not expecting it to, the combo with Veto is going to be really strong. That'll actually be near death for my opponent. Let's get rid of Silver Smoke Ghoul. Not a card that I see very often, Hopeless Nightmare. Usually used in Reanimator, actually, so that's interesting. Or, sorry, this would be in, like, ETB stuff, or, like, Thieves for Cold. They are looking for something to block this Nighthawk Scavenger. They do find it. But I'm glad that it's a DRC for a Chump Block and not a Nighthawk Scavenger killer. Oh, I guess it is kind of that. Well, let's just play the Veto here. We can chunk them down a bit. We'll attack on in. If they don't block the Blood Gas with DRC, then at least the Scavenger chunks for a bunch. Kumano might trade. Okay, looks like it will. Should have held that Phyrexian Tower then. Either way, we gain a bunch of life. Here's a Silver Smoke Ghoul. No, it's not actually. There comes our Silver Smoke Ghoul. There we go. So, good damage potential here. This is a potential kill. If Bowmasters targets my Ghoul, I can just sack it. Okay, that's not going to happen. Light Up the Stage happens, though. Okay, move to my turn. And how do we make this work? We attack in. They don't block, we play Sorin, they die. Might take me 2 turns here, though. I think actually what I want to do is play Sorin, play Silver Smoke Ghoul, sack Silver Smoke Ghoul, deal damage to the face, then I'm set up for next turn. So no attacks. Here is Sorin. And then we use Phyrexian Tower to play our other Silver Smoke Ghoul. Hit them for 3, which is actually 6, and then they're dead. So Phyrexian Tower, sack Silver Smoke Ghoul, play Silver Smoke Ghoul. They would have to crack their Wooded Foothills and kill Sorin right now, or kill Veto. So if this resolves, we should have it. So this is Sorin +1, sacking Silver Smoke Ghoul. Sack that. Deal 3 damage to them, drain for another 3 with Veto, and that will be the 5th and final round. Alright. Well, we ended with a pretty cool comboing of the deck. Got to see some of that value that it does provide. And with that being said, that brings us to the end of the video. So make sure to like and subscribe for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Please also comment on the video. It helps me so much with the YouTube algorithm. And with that being said, that's all. Try the deck list in the description, and I will see you in the next video.